And we say greetings, this is Kabanka Pyramid representing the Lion Voice vlog. Make sure that them check it out and stay tuned. Seeing Rastafari blessings every time.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story. Rastafari.
Back in 1999, now I'm back in South Africa.
Okay.
I had I would call what people would call a mystical encounter.
Okay.
I had a dream. And in this dream, I saw a man sitting on a throne. A wooden throne, a very old wooden throne. But I couldn't see his face because there was too much light around his face.
Okay.
And then he spoke to me in a language I could not understand at the time. But at the end of the dream, he tells me what I did here was, you'll understand what I told you after 7 years. 7 years later, I'd completed multiple initiations. I had traveled. I'd been through too many things. Exactly 7 years later to the day, I met a Rasta of the Order of Melchizedek.
The year is 1892, and the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabe is giving birth in a place called Erjersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. Ras Tafari's father, Ras Makonnen, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Makonnen is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Makonnen knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. Ras Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting, and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwesi Bansu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
Family, give a warm Lion Pride welcome to I soon to be good brethren, Abba Ayalew. We're gonna get the proper pronunciation. Greetings, King.
Greetings, my brother. Greetings to your listeners. Greetings and thanks for having me, my lord.
Yes, we give thanks. Pronounce the I name for I and I, please.
As you read it, Ayalew. Ayalew
Ayalew. Ayalew. Okay. Okay.
Amlak. Yeah,
Amlak.
man.
Yes. And
Ayalew Amlak.
what does that mean?
Uh, it's an Ethiopic name meaning the secret things of the Most High or
Ah,
the mysteries of God. Yeah, man.
okay. Serious thing. Serious thing. All right. We're gonna bubble the sip nicely today, King. You know, because the first time I'm reasoning with the brethren, just like the item. So we're gonna bubble this pot nice. We're gonna get our seasoning. We're gonna chop our onion, everything, and make the reasoning nice. I'm gonna ask the eye to step into the Lion Talk time machine and to take us to the moment of the eye birth. Let us know where you were born, and then take us on a journey to your revelation of Rastafari.
Ah. I was born in South Africa in
Give us the province. Give us the province. The district.
I was born in the Gauteng province of South Africa, which is the capital province. Grew up here. I grew up in between Gauteng and the Eastern Cape. My parents come from the Eastern Cape. We are Xhosa by nativity. So I grew up moving between the then Republic of South Africa and the country of Transkei. So I grew up in between two cultures. I grew up between a Xhosa culture and a more integrated culture in the Gauteng province around the urban areas there.
Okay. How far is
Yeah,
that from the places that people know, like Joburg, Cape Coast? You know, how far is that from those regions?
from Gauteng in specifically Pretoria, where
Victoria.
I spent most of my time. When I drive home, it takes me about 16 hours to the Eastern Cape. That's the distance. Now, going to the Cape Coast, you drive a further 4 hours. So the country is vast. The land is very vast. So, and the distance between the places are too great.
Serious, serious.
Yeah.
So you spent a lot of time in Pretoria. And what's the African name for Pretoria? I know they gave it an
Yeah.
African name.
They just renamed it Tshwane. They renamed it Tshwane.
Tshwane. So what's
Yeah,
the
man.
so how did I grow up in that place? What was that like?
Yeah. Growing up in Pretoria, I grew up like any other young man growing up in Pretoria, caught up in the streets, caught up in this and that. But then at a very young age, my I had a very, very religious background. My father being a leader of a church, my mother being a very staunch Christian. So I grew up tackling issues around faith. My
Okay.
first 7 years of school first 5 years of school were in a strict Catholic convent.
Oh wow.
So I grew up with strict Catholicism exposure. But that was very different to the Christianity I was learning from home, which was more of an African approach to Christianity. Now, the two worlds forced me to question a whole lot of things. So I'd
Yes.
question the priests at school, and then I'd question the priests at home
Okay.
to find the balance between the two. And because of the conflict between the two, you must remember Roman Catholicism came to us as a colonial religion,
Yes.
whereas African Christianity was a response to that colonialism. And if anything is a response to something else, it's never truly itself.
Yes. Truly.
You see, so I grew up amongst that conflict, which is which now. fast forward to 1997, 98. 97, 98, I spent some time in London, in England.
Okay.
Being alone most of the time without not knowing a lot of people around, being an African at the time, I spent a lot of time in the libraries. And what fascinated me the most was history, religion, spirituality. And that's where my journey started. When I started studying spirituality, studying history, studying the origins of religions as a young man like that, unsupervised, unguided. So I was just taking in whatever I could find at the time. Fast forward, back in 1999, now I'm back in South Africa.
Okay.
I had I would call what people would call a mystical encounter.
Okay.
I had a dream. And in this dream, I saw a man sitting on a throne, a wooden throne, a very old wooden throne. But I couldn't see his face because there was too much light around his face.
Okay.
And then he spoke to me in a language I could not understand at the time. But at the end of the dream, he tells me what I did here was, you'll understand what I told you after 7 years. 7 years later, I'd completed multiple initiations. I had traveled. I'd been through too many things. Exactly 7 years later to the day, I met a Rasta of the Order of Melchizedek.
Right.
And when I met this guy, this priest at the time, his name was Haile Selassie.
Haile.
When I met this man, Haile Selassie, he introduced me to what would inverted commas a Rastafari church.
Okay.
At that point, I'd never met any Rasta before in my life. I did not even know about Rasta.
Okay.
I visited the church and then we chanted. First time experiencing a chant. And everything that was in my dream 7 years ago was happening in front of my eyes at that time. And it piqued my curiosity about who's that man in the picture there. And when I was told that it's His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, it did a number on my intelligence for a moment, because at that time we all knew Ethiopia as a place of poverty, you know.
Yes,
we all knew Ethiopia as a backward place, you know. I think that was my encounter with His Majesty, and from that day on until this day, even my children know His Majesty is God and King.
Yeah, Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Tell the people about embrace many. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, well, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start war, cause they see the city streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me nah budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine and answer. Your love was
upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start mal, but they see their city streets them flood, when the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me now but think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people, maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child. That's why them no like the light when you smile. That's why them no like how your body curve. The way how you dance get on Babylon nerve. Them no know how the Almighty you serve. Want to be a queen, so a king you deserve. And I'll be by your side when things get worse. When the city flood cause the dam just burst. When you can depend on no state or church. Firm like a Menin and Haile Selassie first.